Roadmap to Victory is sponsored by the R&R family of companies.
And welcome back to Nittany Game Week. The Indianapolis trip to face Oregon was an unexpected bonus. It's also an eye-opening experience to see that kind of speed from a bunch of ducks running around the field. Coach Bradley, Coach Paterno, they would love to see these guys again in the national championship, but what can the Nittany Lions learn from a head-to-head battle with the #1 team in the country that they can take into a postseason run?
Well, one of the things you do now when you have 12 days between games or whatever it may be is you get a chance to look at some things and do some fine-tuning of what you did in that game. And really, there's some things to take away. Now, a lot of criticism of the 2 interceptions, and let's talk about what happened in those 2 interceptions, because one, you could argue, is on the quarterback, one is not on the quarterback. I want to talk to you about why. Number one, you're looking at here, they're in their own end zone. They're looking at Tyler Warren. Oregon walks a linebacker up over top of him to try and take him away, and then these 2 linebackers are looking at the back. So when the back goes this way, it frees up that linebacker to help on Warren on the crossing route, which then takes that away, and now you got to go to the third one. Tom, I know we used to call that banjo. You used to love that as a coverage with the safety over the top.
We sure did if you had the right guys to play it underneath.
Right.
And didn't get in the wrong mismatch.
And it creates a situation where Drew's actually making the right read here. He just gets the ball slightly behind, and it is a game of inches, and that's what costs him on this one. You can see he's got a chance to get that in on the front shoulder. If he does, it's a first down, but it's the right read, right decision at the right time. Now, let's talk about the other interception at the end of the game. Now, one of the things you got to realize when you play at an NFL field, these are NFL numbers, so you see these little marks. Those are the NCAA numbers, so the guys got to know where they're lining up. This is what we call the landing zone on deep passes. It's 5 yards. We used to put a line on the practice field, and when we ran our streaks, we never wanted our guys to be inside that landing zone before the ball was thrown so you could fade them over. Now, Tom, you'll see on the next one, if you go to the next screenshot, you'll see when this ball is thrown, they're already in the landing zone. That allows the cornerback to do what when you take that arc release?
Yeah, he can just squeeze him into the sideline, squeeze him into the out of bounds, and lean into him. And now that throw, there's nowhere to go with the throw,
right?
Because he didn't give the quarterback a chance.
No question. And when the guy gets vertical, I may be even with you, but as a quarterback, I have 5 yards to put over your outside shoulder and allow you to fade it, but he doesn't have that here.
But here's the other thing, too. People sometimes don't realize that they blame it on the quarterback. It's not always the quarterback's fault. The receiver has to help him. He has to give him a place to be able to throw the ball against that kind of coverage, especially.
No question. And again, that's one of those things, not always the quarterback's fault. Now let's talk about something they did really, really well. Oregon was playing a lot of 2 safety high. We talked about that. Here's a situation where they've essentially got 3 defenders on those 2 guys, partly because Warren's there. I mean, I'd put 5 guys over to cover him. And then they got 3 over 2 here, which now, Tom, that leaves you with a linebacker against Nick Singleton. And how dangerous is he in the pass game?
Well, they've done a great job with those running backs in the pass game, and that's something a lot of people don't even account for the back sometimes. But these 2 guys, you better know, they run really good routes.
Yeah, as you watch in the video, these safeties come off to go 3-on-2 and 3-on-2, and there's nobody over the top. And Drew does a great job getting this out early, too. They don't wait a long time for this throw. You can see this ball, as soon as he sees that ball's out of his hands before Singleton has even cleared the linebacker.
Well, did you see what the linebacker did? He overplayed it, too, and Nick took it right back inside, which is great on his part.
Now let's take a look at a third down. Penn State did a great job on third downs here. Receivers did not necessarily make the big plays on the outside on the fades that we talked about, but they did a good job coming underneath. Now, here what you got is they're going to blitz. They're going to drop him out of here. Again, Tyler Warren comes here, and he takes 2 defenders with him. And now it's 3rd and 16. Oregon gives them the underneath throw, but give the receiver credit for catching the ball and making the play, Tom. And that's frustrating.
It is very frustrating. And I'll tell you, it was if you look at the route running was precise. You knew where the down marker was. You got there, and give a lot of credit on that one.
Yep, no question. So let's take a look at defensively. Defensively, not one of Penn State's better games. One of the things Oregon did early on in the game was they wanted to establish the run. They got out here and they started reaching on people, and they got after them and really went at the defensive ends. Penn State's defensive ends, size-wise, are a little bit undersized. They went at them, and the wide receivers, Tom, they go unbalanced, which puts pressure, and they did a great job blocking downfield with the wideouts.
I think the other thing that got this thing a little bit out of whack was the unbalanced set.
Yeah. but they really attacked those edges. And again, you can see those wideouts blocking downfield, and they did a good job. Now, once you establish the run game, and Oregon clearly came out with the idea, let's get the run game going. And if you look, they're going to play action up. They get the run fake here. The defensive end loses contain, and now one of the things Dylan Gabriel did a great job when he scrambled. His eyes were downfield looking for throws, and here they end up with 3-on-2 over here, which leaves Tez Johnson, the guy you don't want to leave alone, open in the middle of the field, Tom. And how impressive was he in terms of acceleration, change of direction?
They don't make him any better than he's a special player. Let's just put it that way.
And you got to give Dylan Gabriel credit because he really moved around the pocket well and got the ball precisely to guys where they could do things after, especially him.
Thank you, coaches. Of course, the players spent the majority of last week preparing for Oregon in the conference title game. They were also happy to donate some of their time to go Christmas shopping for families in need. We tag along with the Nittany Lions as they execute their shopping spree game plan. They're quick, agile, tall, and strong. All perfect traits to pick out the best gifts for thousands of kids in the Toys for Tots program.
I just thought it was an amazing opportunity. Obviously, as a kid, Christmas is super important, and every kid wants one specific thing, always one specific thing. Just provide, kids who maybe are a little bit less fortunate that wouldn't be able to have, a bunch of great presents on Christmas, just maybe get one specific thing that they really wanted on their list.
It's just so much fun to watch them because I think for them, they're having a good time, but they know what the mission is behind this. We talked about all the kids that are in need all around central Pennsylvania, and they really took that to heart.
After they break the huddle, these big guys show off their big hearts. West Shore Homes sponsored the shopping spree at a Target store in State College. The Nittany Lions appreciate the chance to use their time and skills to help those in need.
Got 3 little sisters and the older brothers, everybody, different ages, everybody getting different stuff. But my parents did a great job with giving us the things we wanted. So Christmas was never a dull moment. People was thinking that we might need help in the girls section or looking for girls. So I'm like, nah, I got this.
And what are the things that take you back? Was there anything that jumped out at you?
Oh man, we kind of talked about it a little bit. I always wanted a dirt bike, but after the dirt bike was always a remote control car. I was always a big remote control car kid, and just walking through that aisle, we had to pick up a couple of those on the way too.
Definitely the WWE action figures. Growing up, I had the big arena, probably had 50, 60 guys, me and my brother, a couple of my neighborhood friends. We just sit in the house all day and play with them, that and Beyblades.
Well, the money used to shop with was donated by West Shore Homes executive team. The toys will be distributed to the Harrisburg Toys for Tots program. And just ahead, we call them our impact interviews, and you only get to see portions of them on the program each week. The rest reside on our website. Some of the great questions and answers we've had with our guests that are impactful. Coming up next after a short break.